Diyos. Maraming salamat po sa buhay at lakas na aming taglay, sa liwanag ng kaisipan at sa pagkakataon maipagpatuloy ang pag-aaral ng mga kabataan. Gabayan mo po ang bawat isa sa amin. Anuman ang bahagi na nagagampanan, naway maging maayos at matagumpay ang pagtuturo at pag-aaral na aming gagawin sa araw na ito. Patawarin mo po kami sa aming mga pagkukulang at pagkakasala. At sa aming paggawa, ikaw po ang aming makasama. Amen.
Hello, our dear grade 8 students! Welcome to our music class. This would be another day to learn and explore the wonders of music that you will surely enjoy. By the way, I am Ma'am Cha from Valenzuela National High School, your teacher for today. We are about to start, students, so get your learning packets, notebook, and pen. Here are some reminders that we should be mindful of as we go on to our online class discussion. In today's lesson, you are expected to 1. Analyzes musical elements of selected songs and instrumental pieces heard and performed. 2. Explores ways of producing sounds on a variety of sources that would stimulate instruments being studied. 3. Improvises simple accompaniment to selected South Asia and Middle East music. And 4. Performs music from South Asia and Middle East with own accompaniment. Activity time! Before we begin our discussion, let me ask you, are you familiar with the activity Spot the Difference? That's great! Let's try this one, class. This will give you hints on our topic for today. For the instruction, look at both pictures and carefully spot the differences. You will be given 20 seconds. If possible, try to guess the things that you have noticed and type your answers on our comment section. Your timer starts now. Time's up! Let us now check if we have the same observation. Have you spotted all of this? Excellent! Click the heart react button if you got it all correct. Now, let me ask you, are you familiar with the things you identified? What do these two pictures have in common? You are certainly correct. All the things you have seen and identified are musical instruments. Alright students, I know you still want another activity. So let's have the game 4 Pigs, 1 Word. I will present 4 pictures linked by 1 word. You need to work out what the word is from the set of letters below the pictures. You have 10 seconds to type your answers in the comments section. Let's start. Number 1. Your 10 seconds starts now. Very good. The answer is India. Number 2. You have 10 seconds, students. Type your answers now. Time's up. Good job. Pakistan is the answer. Number 3. 10 seconds, students. You've got it right. The answer is Israel. Did you get all the correct answers? Very good. Click again the Heart React button if you got it all correct. Based on the activity I have given you, what do you think is our lesson for today? That's absolutely correct. Our discussion will focus on the instrumental music of South Asia and Middle East countries. Last quarter, Sir Alvin and I introduced to you the countries in East Asia with their vocal and instrumental music. We also discussed the musical characteristics of each and their social function. Now, we will go to the other side of Asia, the South Asia and Middle East countries, specifically India, Pakistan, and Israel. You will get to know more about these countries, specifically their musical instruments, which play an important role in their culture and tradition. But wait, can you still remember her? Yes, our music buddy, Noti. She will join us to travel and explore South Asia and Middle East countries, together with their instrumental music. Let's go! Let's start with the first country, India. There are many musical instruments in India. Instrumental music is often similar to vocal music, but sometimes they have distinctive instrumental styles. In India, there are 5 known traditional systems for classification of musical instruments. Let's start with the first classification, gun. Gun, described as non-membranous instrument but with solid resonators. It is one of the oldest class of instruments in India. It may also be a melodic instrument or instrument to keep tal or repeating rhythm pattern. Instruments under this classification are the following. 1. Gata is a large clay pot played in South Indian classical performances. There are 2 actions of resonance. The primary one is the ringing of pot caused by striking. A very low resonance is also produced by the carry. Manjira is one of the traditional percussion instruments of India. In its simplest form, It is a pair of small hand cymbals. Kartal are a pair of wooden blocks or frames with small metal jingles mounted in them. They are simply beaten together to provide a rhythmic support to bhajans, kirtan, folk, and other light music. Naut is a small pot used in Kashmir as a percussion instrument. Second classification of instruments from India is Avanad. Avanad, described as membranous percussive instrument, and this class of instruments typically comprise of drums. The instruments under Avanad classification are the following. Daf is a large Persian frame drum used in popular and classical music. The frame is usually made of hardwood with many metal ringlets attached, and the membrane is usually goat skin. Tabla is an instrument consists of hand drums of contrasting sizes and timbres. The right hand drum is called table and the other is called as daga or bay. Lastly, dol. Dol is two-sided barrel drum played using two wooden sticks, namely daga and tib. Next set of instruments are from the Shrushir classification, which is also known as blown air. It is characterized by the use of air to excite the various resonators. Let's start with the first instrument, Bansuri. Bansuri is a transverse flute of India made from a single hollow shaft of bamboo with 6 or 7 holes. Shenai is a double reed oboe made from wood with a metal flare bell at the end. It is widely used during marriages, procession, and in temples. Third, shank. Shank is a conch shell which has ritual and religious importance in both Hinduism and Buddhism. It is said that when it is blown, it announces the victory of good over evil. Lastly, surpeti. Surpeti is an Indian drone instrument. Let's proceed to the next classification of instruments in India, referred to as tat. Tat is a term for classification of instruments referred to as veena during the old civilization. Instruments in this class are plucked or string instruments. Under the tat classification are the following. Sitar is one of the most well-known Indian instruments that can have 18, 19, or 20 strings. 6 or 7 of these are played strings which run over curved, raised frets, and the remainder are sympathetic strings. Ektar is one-string musical instrument commonly used in India traditional music. Gotuvadya is a 20 or 21 string fretless flute in Carnatic music. Rhubarb is a lute-like musical instrument derived from the Arab term which means played with a bow. And last but definitely not the least is Gopichan. Like Ektar, it is one-string musical instrument. Last, among all the classification of musical instruments of India is Vitat. Vitat is described as bowed string instrument. This is one of the oldest classification of instruments and yet did not occupy a space in classical Indian music until the last few centuries. Instruments belong to this classification are as follows. Banam is a class folk fiddle found among the Santal of Northeast India. Esraj, which is also known as Indian harp. Sarangi is a bowed short-neck string instrument. It is said to be the most resemble the sound of human voice through its ability to imitate vocal ornaments. And lastly, Chikara. It is a simple fiddle played similarly to sarangi. Rhythm plays an important role in Indian music. It is fundamental to the creation of any musical system, especially in the Indian system of music. In this case, we should take note of the following terms. Tala, literally meaning clap, is a regular repeating rhythmic phrase, particularly as rendered on a percussive instrument with an F, and flow of various intonations represented as teka, which means the common Indian system of rhythm. In line with rhythm, instruments, namely tabla, is the most common instrument for keeping rhythm in Hindustani music, while miridanga is the most common instrument for keeping rhythm in Carnatic music. Indian music is legendary for its usage of microtone. It terms them Shruti. Shruti gives a peculiar color to Indian music. Microtone or Shruti is one among the foremost important elements in the Indian classical system of music, where it has 22 octave divisions or parts. And now, we are done with the instrumental music of India. Truly, India has a vast number of instruments, and it is regarded as the main asset and expression of Indian culture. I know you want to know more about the other countries' instrumental music, so let's go to our next destination, Pakistan. In Pakistan, improvisation plays a major role during a performance of any Pakistani music. Its instrumental music has unique structural and tonal characteristics, producing effects in the pitch, loudness, thickness, and intensity of the sound that differentiates it from the rest. Punjabi music strengthens the importance of musical instruments in Pakistan. Punjab is a region in South Asia which is divided into West Punjab or Pakistan and East Punjab or India. For today, we will name, describe, and highlight few of Pakistan's significant musical instruments. Let's start with dholak. Dholak is a membranophone instrument where both sides of the drum are covered in toned goat skin, and it plays an important role in Punjabi music. Tabla is a pair of twin hand drums which has been the principal percussion instrument in Hindustani classical music. Harmonium is a keyboard instrument that is very popular as an accompaniment to solo singing and kawali singing. Last on our list is Rhubarb. Rhubarb is a plucked string lute with frets on the upper end of the fingerboard. Its hollow body is made of wood and the sound chamber is covered with goat skin. Like India, the cultural heritage of Pakistan includes a large number of musical instruments. I know you can't wait to see more of our next country's musical instruments. Let's now go to our last destination. Last but definitely not the least, Israel. Israel has distinctive musical styles which became a defining element of Israeli culture, a culture of the ancient Hebrews of the Bible. Musical instruments from this country are associated with Middle Eastern music, which is used as accompaniment. Let's start exploring instrumental music of Israel. First on our list, Jewish lyre, or known as Kinora. It is an ancient Israelite musical instrument, and the exact identification of it isn't clear, but in the modern day, it is generally translated as harp or lyre. Psalterion is an ancient string instrument played by plucking the strings with the fingers or a plectrum. Shofar is an ancient musical horn typically made of a ram's horn used for Jewish religious purposes. Shofars come in a variety of sizes and shapes, depending on the choice of animal and level of finish. Goblet drum is a single-head membranophone with a goblet-shaped body that may be played while held under one arm or by placing it sideways upon the lap. Tof or bendir means in Turkish language a big hand frame drum. The drum is played kept vertical by inserting the thumb of the left hand in a special hole in the frame. Oud is a short-neck flute-type pear-shaped string instrument with 11 or 13 strings grouped in 5 or 6 courses. Students, did you notice how rhythm plays an important role in the music of South Asia and Middle East countries? You will also notice that most of the countries in South Asia and Middle East have a lot of resemblance in their musical instruments and types of music made. And that's the instrumental music of South Asia and Middle East with their country of origin and classifications. Let's now go back to our beloved country, Philippines. It's time to experience music from India, Pakistan, and Israel. Let's watch this video and be ready for the follow-up questions later. It is now time to express yourself. From the videos you have observed from the instrumental music of South Asia and Middle East, kindly choose one and try to reflect on these following questions. Can you identify the instruments used in the videos? What mood or feelings does it express? And last, how does these instruments help express the mood of the piece? You can answer the following through writing or illustration. You can make use of lines or geometric patterns for the mood or feelings of the piece. Once you are done, submit it to your Mapeh teacher. Before I will give you your assignment, let's check if you really learned today. We are going to have a short quiz entitled Name Me. For the instruction, look at the picture and on a sheet of paper, write the country of origin and its hornbostel sax classification. By the way, can you still remember that system of musical instrument classification by Erich Moritz von Hornbostel and Kurt Sachs? Very good! Musical instruments can be classified as aerophone, chordophone, ediophone, membranophone, and electrophone. Now, let's start the quiz, dear students. You will be given 10 seconds for each. Time's up! Now, let's check your answers. 1. India aerophone. 2. Israel chordophone. 3. Israel aerophone. 4. India idiophone. And 5. Pakistan chordophone. After you check your paper, I bet you got a perfect score. But if not, that's okay. You can try again on our next FB Live discussion. For your assignment, you will do the activity, Why Not Perform? In this activity, you will create, improvise, and perform a musical composition with simple rhythmic patterns using improvised musical instruments. Of course, that are similar to the sound of South Asia and Middle East. This activity will develop your creativity and your musical awareness and appreciation of South Asia and Middle East music. Record your video and submit it to your Mapeh teacher. Here is the rubrics as your guide. Music has always been viewed as a universal language, a direct interpretation of culture. Although culture continues to change rapidly, music will always be a common ground in uniting people with different languages, cultures, and norms. It is really good thing that music exists. And that ends our lesson in South Asia and Middle East music. Once again, this is Mom Cha, your music teacher, and Noti, your music buddy. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you and good day.